Hey, Travel Brats.
Happy Travel Brat Tuesday.
It's Soph.
And Nat.
Coming to you from the studio.
Soph, what story of all stories, the story of all stories, are you going to tell us today?
The story of epic proportions to close out our year in Season 5, guys. You wanted to hear it, and we finally prepared it, and I've gone through the PTSD. Good enough to prepare this, good enough to tell it to you today. It is my epic wipeout / knee injury story.
Oof.
So,
and we're gonna leave this story in 2025. As
Yeah.
our last episode of the year, we're
behind.
getting it out of the way. We're on to new and better things and,
Yeah.
and no injuries.
Hopefully.
Whew.
Fingers crossed, guys. Pray for me.
I
Do a rain
haven't
dance.
heard this full story. I mean, I've heard bits and pieces, but Travel Brats, I, alongside you, am intrigued
It's your lucky day
to
now.
hear about this adventure, this misadventure,
Yes.
unfortunately. So tell me about it.
All right, so this takes place President's Day 2025. I was skiing with my friend Ryan, and you guys know that I've skied a couple different mountains, particularly in Colorado, and or resorts, if you want to call it, because a lot of resorts are made up of multiple mountains. But anyway, we are quasi-backcountry of Copper Mountain. There is a mountain behind Copper, and it's part of the resort, but it's another mountain. It's called Tucker Mountain. It was previously only accessible by like a snowcat or hiking. Expert terrain only. They built a couple years ago a chair, so now you can just ride up the chair and go ski anywhere in that area. And you gotta, because you're kind of quasi-backcountry, you have to be smart and cut through certain areas to get back to that chair, or else you're kind of stuck. So we were skiing that day. It was President's Day, actually, and it was really crowded. If you guys don't know,
I was going to say, does that mean it was crowded because it was a day off of school?
Yes.
Yeah.
Day off of school, and also, like, statistically, President's Day weekend is the busiest ski weekend, even more than New Year's.
Really?
Yes, because the snow's a lot
Just
better.
the time of the
President's
year.
Day.
Yeah.
Yep. And so you had a lot of people, really long line at the chair is called Three Bears Chair on Tucker Mountain. So again, lots of people, even though you still didn't have that many on the mountain. But usually to paint the picture of this, usually it's totally empty. Like this area, usually there's really not many people at all, unless it's, again, a holiday weekend, a busy time. So he was skiing with me for the day, and his wife was with us too. Ryan and his wife Shelby. They were staying in Breck. They came over for the day. They got day passes. She is more of a green blue boarder, and he is an expert boarder. He can ski anything, or he can board anything. So the plan was he was going to ski the morning with me. There was a bunch of fresh powder. It was snowing like crazy. We were going to go catch all like the snow and powder, and then meet up with her like at lunchtime, and then go ski kind of the front side with her and take it easy. So at this point, I've been skiing for about 17 days straight. I was
Yeah, you were on like a big ski trip. I mean,
Yes.
you often take a ski trip like this every year, but like this was a big one.
Yeah.
So you're already like over 2 weeks in.
Yes, 2 weeks in. I'd taken like a day or two off.
Okay.
I think a day, and like there were a lot of things that factored this happening, I think, but one of the big things was, and this isn't the main reason, but my legs were feeling it. I was getting tired. I didn't ski all day every day. Like the first 5 days we came out, I went with my brother and his friend, and we skied for like 5 full days. But then, I'd take it easy. One day I'd go 4 hours, one day I'd go 3. There were like 1 or 2 days I just did 2. It's hard when the snow's that good, and you're like out there like February to not just want to ski all day. But I was trying to take it easy because, again, if you guys know, the easier stuff you ski, the less tired you get. The harder stuff you ski, you really feel your legs burning. And especially when there's powder. Powder is so much harder on your body to ski in than less powder, because you just glide right over it versus you really having to tear through it and lean really far back. You just feel those quads. So anyway, that's kind of the setup. The run we went on. So you take, like I told you, you take Three Bears Chair up. You're on Tucker Mountain. You have a couple runs. We were on, so they say see skiers right, which means if you're skiing down the mountain, this is the farthest right run, which meant at the bottom of the run, you had to cut hard through some woods to get to the chair, or else you get too low. They've got it roped off though. So everybody's just got to keep up their speed. The only thing is, this isn't like a regular flat cat track like you see on the front sides of the mountains. It goes through the trees, and there's only 2 paths, and it goes very like this, like up and down, up and down.
Is that moguls? Or...
So you could call it mogul. It's not necessarily moguls, because moguls are at hills, but it was just kind of like a track through the woods where you have to go straight, because you can't turn, but it just kind of goes, woo, so you really have to loosen your legs, Guys, you should watch the video version of this because I'm showing Natalie right now, like, up and down. So that's the way it was at the bottom. Again, it's pretty much the easiest part of the run, but it's just the important thing is to learn here is you have to take turns with everybody who's waiting to go through that. Because if you're going too fast, you'll catch up to somebody. If they're going slow, or if they stop in that. So everybody has to keep their speed up at the bottom there.
So it's kind of like when you're waiting for the water slide.
Yes.
At a water park.
Yes.
And they say like, okay, you have to go when the green light is on and wait and whatever.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So we take this chair up to this mountain. We get to the top of the mountain. The last year he came to ski with me, this was not open, so we were all excited. I was like, oh, Ryan's gonna have the best day ever. We ride up, and this is so funny. On the first chair up, we ski one run, and it's the run just to the left of the run I fell on, and it's my favorite run. They've got these beautiful glades at the bottom, and nobody had skied it yet. And it was already like 10 o'clock, but nobody had skied it yet, because a lot of times they don't open those back chairs until ski patrol can kind of get over there, and the lifties can get over there to open it and start running it. They got to do a run to test it. Ski patrol's got to come down, especially with kind of quasi backcountry, because they got to do the zigzags and test for avalanches, and they got to blow the mountain. If there's any avalanches, then they'll open it. So we got like a fresh run, fresh powder. It was amazing. We loved it. We got on the chair to go back up to the run I fell on. So we were thinking, do we do that run again because it was so good, or do we try another one? And I was like, well, you haven't skied this mountain before, so let's try and do different runs, even though I was like, I love that other run. So we're riding the chair up with this boarder, and it was so funny because exactly what happened to me, we were joking with him on the chair. It was me, Ryan, and this other boarder, where I was saying, we were arguing about whether boarders are more stupid or skiers. And you know, skiers are super purists. They make fun of, like, there's certain resorts in Utah that don't allow boarders because they're juries. They suck. Just kidding. But anyway, no, we were riding up the chair, and I was teasing them. I was like, you boarders are super obnoxious because they go sideways down the mountain, so they have that blind side on their back, whichever way they're facing, whether they're lefties or righties. And they were saying, no, you skiers, like, you just cut and you never look up because you're facing down your whole body. And at least boarders are sideways, so it's easy for them to look up to yield. And I said, well, good skiers yield. And they said, well, there's not a lot of good skiers that yield. You know, like the good skiers yield, but what about everybody else? So we laughed. We had a quick laugh about that. And then Ryan and I went to the farthest right run. It's the steepest run on Tucker Mountain, and it's typically the most difficult in the sense that, like, and it's funny because there was a girl standing right at the top with us, and she was like looking at it, and I was like, you got it, girl. And I was like, just stay right up on these. There's these gigantic ice moguls at the very beginning. Once you get past those, it's like a joyride. Like, the whole rest of the run is so fun. And so she's like looking down that, she's like, I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I want to do that. And I was like, if you're on this mountain, like, you can do this. I was like, you just have to stay right. So we go down half, and then we run into some guy that is looking for a ski because he wiped out and he couldn't find a ski. There was so much powder. So we're trying to help him find a ski, like, midway down the run. She comes, like, zooming past me, and she's like, girl, that was sick. Like, that was so fun. Like, thanks for a tip. I was like, she's like, I just need some confidence. I was like, yeah, girl, you got it. She goes, and then she stops with her friends, like, down in another area of this giant run. Talking to Ryan, we tried to help the guy. We couldn't find his skis. So he's like, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. But, like,
can I ask, like, what do you do in that scenario? So if you can't find your ski, like, you're just stuck on the mountain with one ski.
Yeah.
How do you get down?
Yeah, so we had this happen. My brother and I were going through a tree trail, and at the bottom of the tree trail we were going through, he fell, and I actually had to, like, jump over him coming out of the edge because I didn't see him, like, laying there. And then I get behind him and I stop and I turn around. He's fallen and he can't find one of his skis. We had to dig for it. A lot of times people think it's always above you when you fall. A lot of times it flies below you because they keep going a lot of times, and it gets stuck in the powder. So we ended up finding my brother's ski that time and then losing my phone and finding it. But anyway, it's a different story. But this guy, he could not find a ski. And I told him too, like, Ryan was looking above him and he was looking where he was, and I went below him because I was like, a lot of times, dude, it's below you. And so we just couldn't find it. It was a big open area. Like, where my brother fell, it was kind of enclosed, so I knew it had to be
somewhere.
Yeah, so I don't know if that guy ever found his ski.
But, like, how do you get down the mountain?
Well, what he'd have to do eventually is get ski patrol, especially where he was. Like, he just had to get ski patrol to come bring him down the mountain.
Oh, that stinks. That really, I mean, obviously, what you're going to tell us ruins a day like nothing else can. But also, losing your ski... At the beginning, and that's at the beginning of the day.
Yes.
Relatively
That was like
soon
fourth or
in your
fifth run.
day,
Yep.
and it's just like now it's like, well, now I can't ski anymore. Like,
I know.
especially if
And
you
skis
own
are
this.
expensive.
So I was gonna say
Yeah.
skis are really expensive, and so let me ask just a question really quick here. So this is the one where you have to wait.
This is the run where I fell. This is
the one where you have to wait.
This run is called Boulderado.
But you said you have to keep your speed.
Yes, so here's what it's the big
So
ice moguls at the top, then you kind of go through an open space with really good powder.
And you can
then you
stop
get into a
in
place
those
where there's a bunch of
spaces.
trees. Yes, stop anywhere.
Oh,
then you get
okay.
into a place where there's so glades are like big open trees, So then you have a bunch of open trees. At the very bottom of the run
That's where you
is
have to
that
keep
little
your
tree
speed.
traverse where
And
you
you
have to
can't
keep your
stop.
speed and you can't stop. And this is what happened. So we saw him, and then we kept going. And again, if you guys have seen the video, it's on social media. But
It's crazy.
we get to this bottom part, and Ryan's calling. He's like very close behind me. He's calling me. He's never skied this. He's like, so where do we go? We cut through these trees, and I was like, just follow me. So there's like 3 to 4 people maybe waiting again for their turn to cut through those trees, like I was saying. And there's a guy sitting above the 2 paths. He's sitting above the higher path. And he looks like he's not gonna go. Like, he looks sketched out. He's kind of sitting. I mean, this run is steep enough for you to just straight up sit and then like pop up whenever. So he's sitting, and I'm like, all right, because Ryan was like, what do we want to do? Not blaming Ryan, but he was like, we're going that way, and I was like, oh, just follow me. So I make an executive decision. This guy doesn't look like he's going anywhere. So I start going. I'm like maybe 3 yards behind him, and he pops up and starts going through the upper left side, which is what I was going to go through, because a lot of people try the lower right, which is easier to ski. But then if you run into a person there, like if you see a person too slow and you're going to catch speed and get them, there's nowhere to drop. Like if you're on the higher left one, you can drop lower and go around people if they're slow. So this guy starts going through it so slow. He stands up and starts like going in it like new, as I'm already like moving and grooving. So
and
you
not
hear me
looking to see.
Yes, and not no. Exactly what we were talking about on the chairlift. He doesn't yield to like the 5 people that are shooting into that thing. And so you hear me. It's funny. We have the whole video because I was skiing with the Insta360 guys. We're not sponsored by Insta360. Insta360, please sponsor us. But yes, I was. So you hear me go like, oh boy, in the video. And I try to change my line. And again, yes, legs were tired. Quads kind of gave out, and it ended up putting on my left knee. My left knee was the down bearing knee on the slope. What happened is I hit a mogul. I started flying up. It was so funny. This video looks like a rodeo because like,
it's crazy.
my top is
Like, it's
stable,
wild.
but my
Yeah.
legs just like break. And I go down, hit the second mogul. By the time I hit the second mogul, my legs are already like, I don't know what, like half a yard.
Separated from each other. Yeah.
I try to bring them together. I can't. I hit the second mogul. My right leg goes up on the top of that second mogul. My left leg starts sliding down it, and I just did a straight up split. And my left leg just kind of came in to the right, and then popped back out to the left. That ski again. I should have checked the bindings. That ski never came off. So that like twisted and turned my leg. So I split, and then that knee goes, and then I flew into the woods, like into the powder. I like threw in the powder, slid down under that like rope. Because you know how I told you the run gets cut off and you have to cut in the trees. So slid up against a tree. When Ryan came over the hump, like to see what happened, he was like, dude, I thought you had like broken your neck.
Yeah.
You were like slid up against this tree and your neck was like this. And he's like, I freaked out. So he comes down and he's like, what happened?
He saw the whole thing happen? He didn't really see
No.
it. He just saw you like go.
Yeah, because it went it went steep down, and then it kind of came a little hump, and then it started going steep down again this way.
So
I had kind of jumped over that, started going. That guy stood up. I tried to turn right, and then I just boom.
Now, can I ask what Ryan did?
Yeah.
Since he was behind you.
Yeah. So I fall in there. I feel my knee. Again, I've never torn something
the pain.
like an ACL.
I can't imagine.
So I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
I know something really bad happened because of the pain, but I was like, I don't know if I just broke my leg. I don't know if I just twisted. So I'm laying there in the snow, and then this left leg that still had all this, that got torn, that had the ski on still, was like being twisted all the way back out to the right. The right leg was free because the ski came off, but I'm under the snow on that side. So I'm a little above the snow on my right side, and I'm under. So he gets to the cat track, because that's the top of the cat track thing. He pops his board off. He's like, oh my gosh, are you okay? And I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah. It was so funny because, he was like, are you okay? And I was like, no. So he comes down and he gets to me and he's like, what do I do? And I was like, get my left ski off, because it's just pulling and pulling under the snow. It's all the way twisted out.
So he's like digging me out of snow. He's like, hold on, like I'm getting you out of snow. And he pulls the left, like presses the back and puts the left ski off. And I was like, like immediately my leg releases.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay. And he's like, what happened? I was like, at that point, I like literally could not talk yet. I was literally like trying to figure out what happened. I was like, I fell. And he's like, is it bad? And I was like, it's bad. So he takes my skis out. He gets the camera on the stick. He puts it out on the side. And that same girl that I told at the top of the run, she comes and she's like, oh my gosh, is she okay? Like, what happened? And he's like, are you okay? Like, and she's like, do you want me to go ski through this, get to the chair, and phone ski patrol? And I was like, yes. Because also the ski patrol has a number for those of you who know, but like quasi backcountry, there's no signal. Like in the back bowls, there's usually no signal, but there's a ski patrol headquarters at the top of Tucker Mountain for obvious reasons.
Yeah,
because if you wreck there, it's a bad wreck. So usually it's bad wreck. So yes, she went down there and he waited with me and he was like talking to me. It was funny. He was talking trash to me because he's hilarious. But he's like, you better get out of there. You know, like ski patrol's going to come dig you out. You know, if you don't. So I just was like, I took like another minute or two. And then I was like, okay, actually, like, I don't think I broke my leg. So I'm upside down in the powder and I like turned right side up. Like I shimmied right side up and then I rolled over on my stomach and I actually crawled out on my knees. Keep in mind there's a ton of powder. So it's not.
So it's soft.
Yes. And again, you're like frozen. There's a bunch of adrenaline. So I was like, I think I'm okay. You know, like
the pain hadn't fully set in.
No, it hadn't fully set in.
Yeah.
So I stand up. He's got my skis. He gives me my poles. I kind of stand up in that spot before you head into the trees. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, now put your skis on. And I was like, oh, dude. He's like, what? I was like, I kept kind of shifting between my right leg and my left leg. And I was like, I don't think I can like put weight on my left leg. Like it feels really weird. And he's like, seriously? And I was like, yeah. So at that point, she'd phone ski patrol. We had to wait like another 30 minutes. Then we hear a guy above us in the woods calling. I was like, we're right here. Like we're just standing in like this easy spot. And he's like, oh, like, are you okay? And I was like, well, like, I don't think so. Like, my knee feels really weird. And so I'm scared to kind of, like, jam it into the ski and, like, try and ski down the tree trail where it goes, like,
Nope.
And so he's like, okay, so maybe based on how you tell me you're feeling, you've only, like, tweaked something or sprained something. He's like, but if you try to ski on it, if you've sprained something and it's fresh, he's like, you may tear it or something. So that's what we thought at that point. But he starts surveying me and he calls for the rest of the guys with the sled to start coming down, blah, blah. Ryan's like, what do? I was like, you can honestly go ski through that trail. You'll find the chair. It's right there. Take it up, ski down the front face of the mountain, go get Shelby, his wife, and meet me in Center Village because they're going to take me to like the urgent care. So he left and I was with the ski patrol guy. He's filling out the questions in the survey. And then these other ski patrol took like 20 minutes to get down. They get down. There's like 5 guys. And before Ryan left, actually, this is really funny. He was like, so they're going to take you through that? And I was like, oh, crap, yeah, like, ew. Like, it's going to be like bonk, 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 because it goes like bonk.
Yeah.
I was like, this is going to suck. No. Those guys are incredible. So once they get all there with the sled, they start opening the sled. He's like, all right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to one guy got below me, the 1 foot, one guy got below the other foot, like, and they pushed me. I like stepped on their feet and they pushed me into the sled. I just like pulled myself into the sled, back of my hands. They wrapped me up with their little cover thing. They strapped me in and they got my skis and everything strapped on the side. And they're like, okay, here we go. And I was like, oh my gosh. So like I'm up to here. My arms are in here, like stuck. It's like a straight jacket. So all I can do is see. I'm wearing my goggles.
Yeah.
And that was another thing with the goggles, which we'll talk about lessons learned. But it was a really snowy day. 0 visibility. I was wearing like my sun goggles, like my big sunshades towards when it's so sunny. So I should have had my clear lenses on because you couldn't see very well. So I had like no visibility. That's why I hit that first mogul. I couldn't even see it.
You couldn't see
Yeah.
it.
So
Man.
anyway, they strapped me in and there's like, this is from my view. I'm just looking up and there's like 5 guys moving around me somehow on this like 2-lane trail and they're throwing ropes to each other and they're like calling out signals and there's like no bumping. Like it was incredible. So some of them were like skiing while they're holding the front bottom. And like it was so cool how
They
ski
worked
patrol
as a team
operates as a
to make
team.
sure that you weren't further injured by what they were doing.
Yeah, they're so good.
Wow.
So yeah, and this was a trek. So between the time I fell and between the time I got to like urgent care, it was like just over 2 hours. So I was frozen.
Oh, wow.
But so what they do is they get me through that tree trail and they get me to there's so many people. They're like, oh my God, gosh, as I'm passing. It
Yeah,
was so
of
funny. I was
course,
like,
of course.
hey.
Hi.
But they get me to the bottom of Copper Bowl, to those 2 chairs that are there. Then they snowmobiled me up Copper Bowl, which was so steep. That was like so sketchy going up it. And then they had to snowmobile me down the whole front side, but they only snowmobiled, I think, a little bit. And then that first guy that came that was surveying me, he skied with me the rest of the way. So they do this like pizza the whole way down for the rest of the way while they have you attached to the back of them in the sled. And because it was I say the scariest thing, President's Day, there were so many people skiing everywhere, and like, you know, front side toward the bottom, like not good skiers. So he's like constantly just screaming like, move, yield, like on your left, look up. And I'm like, oh my gosh, please nobody ski.
The chaos that you're feeling.
I was like, please nobody ski into me and like kill me while I'm in this little thing, like strapped, hanging on for dear life. I don't even know what I've done to my knee. So he takes me to the bottom. We get in the van, and of course, because I'm the worst, I'm like, call my husband who's not in Colorado, and I'm like, hey, they're gonna try, because I didn't want to go. I figured they were gonna try to charge me for like an emergency room, and I was out of network. Guys, this is something to check on your own. You know how insurance is like a nightmare.
Yeah.
Make sure, like you may want to get travel insurance if you go like skiing in a state or in a country that you're out of network with your insurance, unless you have unless you have international insurance or like statewide insurance.
Right.
I had like regional insurance, and so I was like, crap. So they take me to like the $6,000 emergency room, and so I was calling my husband. It was so funny, and I was like, so. He's like, what happened? And I was like, no. Like, I can't explain that to you right now. Like, I'll call you later. But, like, should I go to the emergency room or not? And he's like, what happened? And I was like, again, I'm freezing. Like, I can't explain it. It was so funny. So, anyway, go to the emergency room. They, like, wheel me in. I am frozen. I am, like, shit. I cannot stay still. Like, my whole body is, like, my teeth are, like, and this, I'm sorry, but this nurse is, like, bleh. She's trying to take my blood pressure, and she's like, it's so high, and I was like, I'm freezing, like, can you come back in 20? Like, you know, and she's like, something's wrong with her. I was like, no, I'm frozen. I've been out, it's like 10 degrees outside. I've been out here for 2 hours doing nothing, not moving. I've been strapped in the sled. By the time I got to the bottom of the base of the mountain,
I bet there was snow just like all over your
I couldn't
face.
even see anything. My goggles were my face was so covered in snow. I was like, so like I defrost, then they take my blood pressure and it's fine. But she was literally like, well, maybe something's wrong with the machine, and I was like, no, like,
can you not see?
Yes, I was like,
do you not have eyes?
Yes, lady, I swear, if you come back in 5 minutes, I'm gonna be fine. Like, just let me warm up. They're throwing blankets on me. It was so funny. So doctor comes in, like, she just moves my thing around. They do an x-ray. They don't do MRIs, or did an x-ray. No broken bones, no chip bones, so that was good. So because of everything, frozen, adrenaline, blah blah blah, being high on pain tolerance, I was like, oh, I probably just sprained it. I texted my brother's husband, who's an orthopedic doctor. I told him what happened, sent him the x-rays. He's like, hey, x-rays do look good. Took a second look, was like, maybe you just sprained it. Wait a week, let it rest, be on the crutches for a few days, then you'll be able to walk, but just like take it easy. I ended up going to an orthopedic doc out there that specialized. There's 1,000 that specialize in the injuries, but this guy works with like the Olympic ski team. He did the knee test and was like, okay, you've most likely torn some of your right inner MCL. You've probably torn your full ACL based on the pain and how it moves. And and he's like, and then you may have done something to your meniscus, but only an MRI would be able to see that. So I was like, great. So he's like, so yeah, you are not supposed to ski. This is not probably a tweak or a sprain. It's probably worse than that. So he told me what to do. I actually stayed up in Colorado, did a lot of exercises, did a few PTs. Then I went home after like a month because I had like friends coming out, stuff to do. Then I ended up getting knee surgery in Dothan. I did end up taking the MRI, and yep, that guy was right. I partially tore my right inner MCL here. I had a really bad bone bruise, and that's why, even though I didn't like tear the left MCL there, that's why it swelled up so bad on the left side too. And then, for those of you in video, and then I also tore my pretty much full ACL. There were like one or two like
just like
fibers that were still hanging on. He's like, it's a
Oof.
full tear of ACL. And then I had torn the like left side of my meniscus, but it wasn't crazy. When he went in to do the surgery, he's like, technically could have let it heal on its own, but because I was already in there, I like stitched the end up.
Might as well.
Yeah, so that was basically what happened. And I got the surgery on it. I was like 6 weeks on crutches. I had this awful, giant, stiff metal leg brace that I had to sleep in that like dug into my skin and my cuts and for like 6 weeks too. And I got them both off at kind of the same time, but I still like kept one crutch because I was not used to walking. You know? So that is pretty much the story. I learned a lot of things. Like, you guys got to listen to your body when you're skiing. I was getting tired. Quads give out, and then pressure gets put on knees. You know, I'll start with all the smaller things, then I'll go to probably the main thing. But the goggles too. You know, you need to make sure if it's really snowy and there's no sun, wear your clear lenses. And then if it's really sunny, wear your good ones so you can see. But, you know, that's important because visibility is important. Another thing would have been the bindings with that left ski that like yanked my left leg out. Check your bindings because like I was heavier the last time I skied and I should have got my bindings checked when we came out, because if you lose weight and gain weight, you got to adjust your bindings because you want, if you wipe out, you want your skis to fall off.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. It's what they call a yard sale, but it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Where you go, because then there's nothing hitting you or yanking your legs around or anything. So, and then the biggest thing would be, like, you can be as good of a skier as possible and you can know the mountain really well. And, you know, the mountain always has tricks and things, trees sticking out, rocks. The day right before, I was on the flat, like, cat part, going to the chair from another run on the similar bowl that's over there, and I just hit a rock out of nowhere because I was like flying through the powder, and I just went flying forward, like I did a somersault, and I came out of my skis. So yes, the mountain does have unknown terrain, but the biggest thing for me is like people. Like I thought I knew what that guy was going to do.
That's the greatest unknown.
Yes, and you never know what people are going to do. And then I try to change direction, because if I were to go in that trail that I was going to go behind him and I were to run into him, like, that's my fault. It's always it's like cars.
Yes.
You're always, if you're the behind person,
Yep.
doesn't matter if they do the dumbest thing in the world, which he did. You could have seen him on the other side of the camera. Ryan's like, is this the guy that cut you off? I was like, yeah, but it's your fault. And so I should have just waited for that guy and looked up, made sure nobody else was coming, and then just gone, or made Ryan wait with me. I was just like ready to get to the bottom. I was excited. We'd waited like 10, 20 minutes in line because it was President's Day, and I was like trying to blast through the runs.
Yeah.
You know, try to get him. So again, guys, a lot of lessons learned. I think the worst part of it all was like the second week after the surgery. Like, block wore off my leg. Like, pain meds obviously help, but like there's certain things that there's just no helping.
Yeah.
Like, it was so painful. And I've like herniated a disc in my back. I've had like sports injuries playing college sports like tennis, but nothing for me has ever been like an ACL tear. And it's funny because a lot of athletes do that in like college, high school.
Yeah.
Where like my friend Reka, and that was something where I told her, I was on the phone with her and I was like, I think I'm gonna be able to ski in like a week. And she had basically said, look, I know like it doesn't seem as bad as it may be after the accident. And she's like, and I'm not trying to be negative, but like, just be careful because maybe you did tear your ACL. Even if you don't feel like you did, even if you're like, oh, it's starting to feel okay, I can walk on it and blah, blah. She's like, better to be conservative approach than be crazy.
For sure.
Yeah, because when she fell on the tennis court, when she tore her ACL, she was like, oh, I can get back in the match. I feel okay now. And they're like, yeah, no, we already defaulted you. This is not a thing. So it really is how it feels. It's so weird. Like, the knee's amazing because like I could walk around on it totally for like the whole day
strange.
with my torn ACL and my partially torn MCL.
You wouldn't think
and my
that.
meniscus. Yeah. And then the meniscus didn't have to have surgery because it was partially torn. So, the MCL didn't have to have surgery. The meniscus did, and the ACL was the main thing, and then he went ahead and did the meniscus, like I said. But yeah, there's just, there's a lot of lessons. PT is it's important. If you want to be as good of a skier or a tennis player, so again, a lot of things around that. There's a lot of people, athletes, people that just enjoy things like running, skiing, that this happens to all the time.
Yeah.
So I have a new appreciation for like, man, those people. My aunt's got a friend who runs marathons and she's torn her ACL. And she's like, don't worry, you're going to come back better than ever. You just do what they tell you to do. And I'm like, wow,
Yeah, I mean, just the rehabilitation process it's a lot, but you have to do it.
Yep. And so, we are at the end of the year. I still would obviously have been taking the conservative approach. If I ski in 2026, it'll probably be like April, like blues and greens with friends, just messing around. Like, don't want to be tempted
Ease
to like
yourself
go
in.
ski the hard stuff. Yes, easing myself in.
Because you are a lifelong skier. You've been skiing so many years. You are an expert in I mean, sport, you know, you're not a professional skier, but like you have skied for many, many years and you know what you're doing. And so you also know that like you do want to have many years of skiing ahead of you, you know, like you don't want to blow it all out in the next year. You know, you want to take care of yourself. Right. I have to say, we've done a lot in our most memorable Travel Brat stories series, but this most memorable story is one for the books.
It's pretty wild,
I mean, it's
right?
big. This is big, and I'm so glad that you are doing well with your healing and that you've been taking care of yourself and all of that. I know you'll continue to do that, but wow.
And for those of you, I feel you that's happened to, and we hope you enjoyed this memorable travel story. And again, like, for those of you that are wondering what the recovery looks like, it is like 9 to 12 months. I do PT twice a week. You know, I'm not, for the first maybe 3 or 4 weeks, I was on like hydrocodone, and then I started just taking Advil, and honestly it helped like with the inflammation and everything. You guys know those hardcore drugs, they suck. They make you feel they make me feel super nauseous, lethargic. So for me to kind of be able to transition to Advil at a point where it actually helped more was like a game changer for me. I had to sleep in the brace for 2 weeks. I got stitches out after 2 weeks. The pain started getting a lot better after like the first 2-3 weeks as well. In case you guys, you know, if there's anybody going into this, I'm sorry, I feel for you, but the surgery is important. For those of you that are like, I'm scared of surgery, so I'm going to live with my torn ACL, I would honestly recommend getting surgery. Find a good doctor, but like, I'm excited to like not have to worry about this. Yes, he told me I will have to wear a brace, probably for the next couple years, like doing things like skiing, playing tennis, possibly if you're lifting heavy, you know, anything where your knees could kind of give out, or like things where you're turning weird ways. And so again, I think I covered all my lessons learned. You guys take care of your body. In general with skiing, we've talked so many times about like just watching the altitude, slowly acclimating, drinking a lot of water, paying attention to elevation.
Doing stretches before you go to ski. I mean, that's like making sure that your body is ready to be doing something as active as skiing.
That's a great point, because number one, also I felt like I was going to train for skiing in January, and we got back from New Zealand. I had so much work to do. I was so lazy about working out before we went on this like month ski adventure, and that really, like, I felt it in my body. Now I did start stretching a lot, and I think honestly that helped me from like pulling another groin on my right leg.
I was going to say your right leg was somehow protected from, I would have thought that you would have torn something in your hip area, your pelvic
split,
area.
My friend was like, he was like, looking at this video, he's like, I thought your right leg was what happened. And I was like, well, what got hurt? And I said, no, all the pressure, all the weight was on my left leg. It was really steep. But yes, I could have torn a lot of things doing that full split. I can't do a split. And my right leg went, whoosh. So yes, the stretching, I was doing like specific, again, Peloton, you can sponsor us if you want. I was doing the Peloton literally has ski stretches. Like it has a category for like ski stretching. So I was trying to stretch at least like between 15 and 30 minutes, like every day if I skied more than, 2 hours. If I skied like 2 hours, I'd do like a 5 or 10 minute stretch.
Yeah, before and after.
Yeah, and so again, take breaks throughout the day. If you're getting tired, if you're feeling it, go in. You don't even have to go to the bottom of the mountain. Go to one of those little huts and get a hot chocolate or just some water. Just give your legs like a 30-minute rest. Warm yourself up. Frostbite's a thing. Listen to your body, guys. Ski easier runs later in the day as well. Because hit the hard runs, get the powder in the morning. If you start to get tired, make your way out of the back bowls and toward the front, because that's when accidents happen. If you're skiing really hard stuff and you're feeling it and you're going to fall, something's going to happen. Don't push yourself harder than you think you can go. Again, last couple things. Always wear a helmet. You want the proper shades like we talked about. Ski sharpened, wax, check the bindings. And you always, I almost forgot this, if you're skiing, in my personal opinion, this was eye-opening for me, because how many times have I done that run? A lot. But how many times have I done it alone? So many times. I was so glad that Ryan was with me, because I had no idea what happened.
Yeah.
There were
you wouldn't have been able to dig yourself out. You would have had to ask that girl. That girl would have helped you.
That girl would have helped me. But it was so nice to be
but
there with a friend.
yes.
And also, this was President's Day. Keep in mind, I told you guys that a lot of times these runs are not crowded. If I was more in a covered area, or if I was on a weekday, like a Monday or something, I may have been there a while before somebody went past me or even saw me. Because I went over the thing and into the, there may have been people that skied past me that didn't even see me. I may have froze for another 2 or 3 hours waiting for someone to help me get out of that. and it just would have sucked having to get myself out. So again, it's always good, especially if you're in like quasi backcountry, or in general, if you're learning how to ski and there's not a lot of people around, ski with a buddy. Like it really helps. And then again, I think the one thing I could have done before surgery, because I waited so long to get surgery, was strengthen my quad. If you guys have specific knee injuries, because all I could do for like a month, 2 months was just walk. Like when I had the knee surgery, it took a long time to fire my quad. And it, for somebody that like is literally quad dominant and loves like lifting and squatting, and like, I was like, oh my gosh, like I feel like my body doesn't work. It was so like, it's difficult to feel like that. So, just again, staying positive. I'd be lying if it hadn't been tough, especially the pains, the med, the constant crutches, the physically starting from square one. And I'm so glad that I had my right leg to like show me how to like do things again. That's why they never recommend you do 2 knee surgeries at once, because literally how many times did I be like, oh, what do you mean? And I would like test it on my
your
leg
right.
and be like, that's how it works, because I really like, you just don't know. And you're trying so hard to like fire your muscles on this leg, and they just don't work for like weeks. So plus feels good to work toward a goal. So I've actually, the plus side of this, I've learned a lot of things, but the cool thing about just like working hard and like feeling like you're getting somewhere is it's been fun to like work with the same trainers and like see your progression, and like, okay, I'm gonna get better, I'm gonna get back out skiing, I'm gonna get back out on the tennis court. It's gonna take a while, but it's gonna feel really good
when you do,
when I'm like, oh, this is all a year behind me, and like it's gonna feel so good to be like, oh, I am back where I was, if not in a better place. Yeah. Because it's really taught me how to take care of my body. So, anyway, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Happy Christmas, happy Hanukkah, happy New Year.
Yeah.
And we
end of the year.
We just thank you guys for joining us this year, and we can't wait to give you all the exciting stuff that we've got planned for season 6. Natalie, you've been a great partner, and Travel Brats, you've just been great listeners and great supporters, and let us know what you want to hear next year, but we're super pumped. So happy holidays.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
Bye for now.